Hey guys, I am extremely excited to be here with an amazing health coach and a good friend, Amber. So today we are going to talk about Amber's experience with the Done For You programs. So Amber, thank you so much for taking your time to be here with us and to help coaches understand what really are the Done For You programs.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So I know that we hear this like done for you, and it's a very common term, done for you social media, done for you blogs, done for you programs. But I want to dive deep into how did these programs affect your life? How did these programs affect your health coaching business? How did they save you time? And maybe even how they helped you to cultivate and get clear even on, the people you work with. So, are you ready?
I am so ready. Yes, let's talk about it. So for me, the Done For You programs provide so much, done for you content. And the thing is, this is information that we already know, because we've studied this stuff. And these are programs that if I wanted to, sure, I could create, but it would take me months, if not, an entire year to really sit down and put all of this information together. So it's a huge, huge time saver for me.
And have you had experience, people always say, how do your programs, asking me, compared to other Done For You programs? And I always say, I only bought one program ever being a coach, and there was a copyright. It wasn't even on the sales page. Because once I downloaded and there was a copyright there, and tears fell because it was in the beginning of my coaching practice. I was a solo entrepreneur. I had no money to spare, and it broke my heart. And one of the reasons that it catapulted me to say, one day I'm going to create a program where coaches can brand themselves. So have you ever had any other experiences, without saying any other programs, in the difference between the content in our programs compared to any other programs?
Yes. So I've investigated some other programs. I think I purchased maybe one other Done For You that was not nearly as robust content-wise as the programs that you put out. Plus the fact that all of your programs, I can edit them. So I can change out the images, I can add my logo, my colors, my branding, and it really personalizes it. And I feel like it makes me look so much more professional because I have the liberty to do that. So when I put a program out there, somebody doesn't look at it and go, oh, this doesn't make sense. This looks like some cookie cutter, program. It's not like that because I can go into those documents. I can add my own story and personalize it. I can change the language to make it sound more like how I speak. And that's everything, It gives me the confidence that what I'm putting out there is credible in the information because I know you and I have had a similar background in terms of our training and education. And that's another thing that makes me confident to buy from you is because I know that, you know this stuff, I know this stuff, but you're taking the time to put it together, whereas it would take me forever.
Well, and that's the thing that I always say to coaches. It's not the coaching part and knowing the information, I would say for the majority of coaches is not the problem. It's time. We're deficient on time. Or we start a program and say, I'm going to make this program, and then we don't get it to that really deliverable state where your client either one-on-one could be working with you, or in an online or offline program, or even as a do-it-yourself. So that program needs to be in a place or created where somebody could easily download without even you being there, and that even can turn into passive income.
And that's how I've been using your programs from the beginning. I think I have all 4 seasons of the detox. And what's really cool about that is I can use those online when I want to generate a little bit of easy income, a little bit of fast cash. I can do that. I think the very first time I did one of your detoxes. I think it was like maybe the winter one, and I launched in January. I think I had probably 50 or 60 people all together during
that
my
was your first
detox.
one.
That was the first one, and the detoxes have generated thousands of dollars for me. And it's just great because it's content that I don't have to create, and I can put it out there when I know I'm going to need, like, maybe it's my slow season and I want a little boost in my income, and then I can start promoting one of the detoxes, and then, there it is.
I love that you brought that up, because that tells me that you are a health coach entrepreneur.
Yes.
And it's very hard, and I talk about this a lot, to go from the health coaching place to and be caring to know that you want to change somebody's life. You want to give them the information they need. You want to work with them, to really looking at this as a business. And so when you said slow months, I always felt the same. I needed to have my one-on-one, but I also needed to have that, little easy program that somebody could come and buy. And so talk to me even about, that was your first detox with that amount of people. How much did that build your authority, or did you already have an established authority?
So I had been working on my practice for a few years, just doing like one-on-one health coaching, individual sessions with people. And so the detox, the first time I did an online detox, that was a game changer, because it gave me some exposure to, this whole web audience that I had not really been focusing my marketing attention on, and so it kind of prompted me to want to open myself up to this new audience. And, not just the detoxes, but some of the other things, like there was a smoothie ebook that I turned into a smoothie challenge.
Yeah.
That was a list builder. Yeah. I think I probably got about 100 new people added to my list just from doing that. But what I really think is important to think about here is not just the exposure that the detox gives you, but what the detox can lead to. Yeah. So if I can just explain for a second sort of a sequence of events and how this worked for me.
Please, because you're breaking down what we call the sales funnel, which can be a really scary word. I always say to people, it's not a curse word. It's not scary, just like the word detox isn't scary. Because it's all about what you're about to tell us. Like, what does that gateway program and the opt-in freebie, which we have, the smoothie one, that was your opt-in. You built your list. You got new people. You led them to a gateway. And now you're about to tell us what you led them to after.
So because of the exposure that I got from some of your online programs, the detoxes, for example, it just helped me build my list. One result of that was I started to get invited to come into larger businesses and corporations and do wellness workshops for that audience. I have, for 3 years now, I've been doing a monthly nutrition workshop and cooking demo at the Nashville Farmers Market, which is awesome. And that, of course, leads to more one-on-one. Yeah. So, starting like up here with the detox, then that leads to speaking engagements, then that leads to like the one-on-one client relationships. And it's this whole, ripple effect. So another thing that I've been able to do is take content from the online done-for-yous and bring them offline into my one-on-one client relationships. And so there's so many pieces of these done-for-yous that are strong enough to stand alone in and of themselves. Some of the ebooks, some of the handouts, they're strong enough to stand alone and really be supportive of the information that I share with my one-on-one clients.
I think what you just brought up and walked somebody through your personal experience takes exactly what I talk about all the time. Is that I so often see coaches and they don't follow that system that we even put in our manual, that we even suggest, like, take these small steps. And that is going to lead you to these other opportunities, whether it's online, whether it's the next signature flagship longer program or the goals and membership. I mean, whatever your business plan is, these are just the tools. So you just walked us through an amazing experience and all of these, opportunities that came to you. Can you tell me, as people always say, okay, the 9 to 5 job, which is really about a 7 to 7 job, or this is my second, job that I want really to be my primary, or I have kids, or, the list goes on. And they say, would I be able to have the time to edit the materials and launch? So can you tell us, I know it was a time saver, but how long did you feel that it took you to personalize it to your brand, to your flavor, so that somebody wouldn't even see that anywhere else, which is, I love that you brought up that point, that they would know this is Amber.
Right. So it took me, it took a few hours, because I'm pretty meticulous and I like to, I know like we don't want to, strive for 100% perfection all of the time, but I do like to see like good quality imagery and things like that. So I'm pretty meticulous with my editing. It took me a few hours. It's the kind of thing where if you dedicate some time on the weekends, you can go through and get this done, The great thing is they also come in like a PDF ready format. So if you don't want to do the editing, you don't have to, it's just a choice that I made because I wanted a certain look, but if you don't even want to do that, I love that you make it PDF ready so that you can just send it right out if you wanted to. But I would say, I would reserve some time on a weekend and dedicate a few hours and just get it done. And then you can use it forever.
Yeah. So, when we were doing the PDFs a long time ago, we actually even stopped that because so many coaches want to put their flavor in. And I remember even clocking myself because I said, okay, I have to stand behind what I know is possible. So every time I edited when I was launching, the detox, and I took the same programs for the 7 years that I was coaching clients and did this. And I would sit there and sometimes just delete a paragraph. I even wrote it. But I said, this isn't, just doesn't flow, or I don't need it. And I would, for a 14-day, be able to get that done in 2 to 3.5 hours, depending on the amount. Of course, the extra hours if you're making covers or if you're playing around. But that's why I tell people at all different places in their business or their comfort level with Canva or PicMonkey or any of these different ways to make a simple image, you don't even have to do that. Because that's why we try to make it so that if you're going like this, I don't even know where to start my business and I have no time and I have this, that you can go and open up that zip file or that Dropbox and feel a little at ease and spend more time on your marketing and more time honing in to your business and what your people really need, so that when you open cart or when you pre-drip, and when you're building that excitement, people can get results like you did.
That's so true. And you know what? I think it's more important to if you're going to dedicate some time, dedicate it to the marketing, because that's everything, I love that you include things like a launch timeline, you include all of those instructional videos, because for a lot of people, like, this is their first go round,
This is their first rodeo.
Right. And so so that's extremely helpful to include those kinds of resources. I like to tell people that, when and just let me preface this by saying I'm a solopreneur, right? Like I'm just a one-woman show. I don't have a big team behind me. So I have to prioritize how do I want to spend my time? What's going to turn into dollars, and it's always the marketing,
always.
It always is. And so when you're a solopreneur, it doesn't matter if you're a health coach or something else, you're really a full-time marketer. If you want to be in business, you're really a full-time marketer.
100%. And I believe that is why the majority of coaches are not making money, and that's why when you come into the forum and I say to people over and over, let go of perfection. It's not that I don't want you to have the most gorgeous and amazing, clear content for your clients, but if you spend all your energy there, where's the energy if you want to do a local free event and then lead them to? Where's the energy to maybe do a webinar? Where's the energy to do a live stream? Where is the energy to create great content so people say, wow, she really or he really, is talking this amazing program that I have to be a part of because I heard pieces of my story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of the done for you is that it's done for you so you can focus on the marketing.
So tell me a little, because I get this all the time. Email, personal messages, calls, and they say, I have bought a program and I wasn't happy and it didn't fit my needs. And, and I always say back, unless you were writing that program yourself, maybe that wasn't the right program for you. But I really encourage you, even with my programs, think about your niche. Think about the system that you are taking your client from A to Z, whether it's in your one-on-one, a 3-tier work with me page, the conversation to the gym or the spa on what program they would want to partner with you. And so sometimes I feel like people are either jaded or they've had a bad experience. And yes, sometimes that's why I always preface it to say, think about your niche first, then buy a program. But what would you say to a coach or a wellness professional who's sitting there and looking and saying, this looks great, and I see all these testimonials, but I just need to hear this from somebody's mouth?
Yeah, so if I'm that mouth, if that's what you're suggesting, you know what? I can say I have never bought a program of yours that I have not been 100% satisfied with. And it's because I trust the information. I trust the educational background that you have lets me know that, that we're a match, professionally. So the information that's in your programs is the same thing that I would be teaching to my clients too. So, I trust the source. I absolutely love the fact that it's a time saver. It's done for you, so I can focus on the marketing. It's editable, so if there's something in there that I want to word differently, I can put my logo on there to brand it for my, particular business. I can make it niche specific because it's editable. My target market, my niche is successful professional women, many of whom are suffering from low energy and fatigue or autoimmune issues. And I can go in there and I can add in those keywords to the content that's already written. So it's speaking to them.
And I think you even brought up, as you were talking, I thought, well, yeah, that's the beauty of even when you open up the business folder and you have the sales page written by my copywriter who writes great pages. And I think about how much that would cost. The average to get somebody to write a 6-email sequence these days is between $650 to $2,000.
Wow. Wow.
An opt-in page that's 500 words on average is about $450, and a full sales page at 1,000 plus usually goes at about $895 to $1,200. So I think about everything that we give. Sometimes I even as I'm close to a launch and I'm going through drop boxes, I think, that's why I created these, because there was nothing like that provided all of that for me as a solo entrepreneur, same position as you, and really wanting to be smart about my money. I love that you brought that up too, because again, that takes me back to knowing that this is a business for you. Yeah. And so you're thinking about your ROI, you're thinking about your clients, you're thinking about every process, and you're putting those pieces together.
Right. And when I buy one of your programs and spend whatever I spend on whatever program it is, I come back and, if 20, 30, 40, 50 people buy that program, suddenly I've got thousands of dollars coming in. Yeah. That's a no-brainer. that's a great return on
Well, girl,
investment.
now we need to get you to the next place of up level. Take those people to that next signature program. So it has just been amazing to be here with you. What I love so much about these interviews, these kind of case studies, is I never know what I'm going to hear. And I come in just so excited to connect with my people, the tribe that we all have as health coaches, just united with our mission of really wanting to change this world. And so to hear your success and to see the excitement in your face as you share that has just made my day and is part of the reason why I do this. So,
well, thank you.
It is exciting. So can you tell everyone where to find you, your website? I know you said you work with those busy professional women, pretty much like ourselves, who need, that self-care and that routine and all that stuff laid out so we're not blah. So if anybody is interested in hiring you, please tell us where we can find you.
Yes, of course. Well, my full name is Amber Robertson. You can find me online. My website is blissholistic.com. And of course, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram too under the same search term, Bliss Holistic. And I just love connecting with other coaches. I love connecting with other health professionals. And so, please reach out. And thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for taking your time. Now, thank everyone. Please check out Amber's Instagram, her Facebook. Give her some support, some love, some comments on her blog. And if you are interested in any of the Done For You programs, you can find that greatness at www.yourhealthcoachbiz.com. Everything that we talked about today is there, from the opt-in freebies to our different systems for niche-specific businesses, as well as all the programs that you need to not stress and market more and brand your business. All right, Amber, thank you so much. I will see you guys later.
All right.